Hey guys, welcome to the next video on NumPy tutorial for beginners. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use NumPy to create some specific array, and also we will see how we can reshape our NumPy array and some of the properties related to shaping your arrays. So first of all, let me show you the first method, and this method is np.zeros. And if you have guessed correctly, this method we use to initialize a specific array with some dimension. So we are going to give some dimension here as an argument. So let's say 2 by 3, and this is going to give us an array of specific dimension, and all the values inside this array are zeros. So all the values or elements which this array contains are all zeros. There is one more method which is called np.ones, and here you can give the same type of argument, let's say 3 by 2, and this is going to give you an array all initialized with the value 1. So you can see all the values here are 1. Now if you want to initialize the value with some data type, you can also use, let's say, np.ones, and you can provide an extra argument here which is called dtype is equal to. So just write dtype is equal to, and whatever data type you want to give here you can provide here. So let's say np.int16, and this dtype argument is going to make sure that this one is of this data type. Now there is one more method which is called np.empty. So this method you can use to provide some shape. Let's give 3 by 3, and this empty method is used to create uninitialized data. So the content is undefined, and once again I'm going to give the same command. It's going to give us the array of these dimensions, and here also you can provide the dtype. Let me give the list here. You can also give the list instead of this tuple, and then as an extra argument you can provide that dtype is equal to np.int16, and then press enter, and you can see now it's going to initialize these values with the random integers. Once again, when you give the list without this argument dtype, and I'm going to just provide some dimensions here in the form of list, it's going to once again give us this dimension with all ones. But always remember that empty, unlike 0, does not set the array values to 0, and this means that this may therefore be marginally faster. Now the next method I want to show here is the arange method to create an array of particular range. So here you can provide some range. Let's say we want to provide the range from 1 to 5, and then press enter. Now this arange acts similar to the range method in Python. So it's going to create this array, but it's going to exclude this 5. This is the property of range also. You can also provide the interval in which you want to see this array. So you can just say I want to see this array in the interval of 0.5. Then you will get the array in the interval of 0.5 or in the steps of 0.5. Now there is one more method which is called np.linespace. And this method is used to create an array by specifying the range and the number of elements. So first of all, we are going to provide the range. So once again, I'm going to provide the range between 1 to 5, and then press enter. So you can see in the result, it returns the evenly spaced number over the specified interval. And in our case, this interval is 1 to 5, and we got 50 values which are evenly spaced values. You can also provide an extra argument in this function, and this is the number of samples you want to generate. The default sample is 50, as you have seen here. This is the default sample. So if you don't provide any number here, it will generate the evenly spaced array of sample 50. But if you want to provide your specific number, let's say we want to just generate an array of 10 values, then we can provide this third parameter here, and now you will just get the array of 10 evenly spaced values. Once again, if you provide here 5, it's going to give you only 5 evenly spaced value, which is 1 2 3 4 5. If you want to create an array of random numbers, you can use np.random.random and provide your dimensions here, and what you will get in return is an array of random numbers which are in between 0 and 1. Now let me show you how you can reshape an array. So I'm going to create an array of zeros. So let me just assign this result to a variable. Let's say this is C variable. So first of all, let's see the content of this array C, and now I want to reshape this array. So there is a method called r.reshape which you can use to change the dimension of this array. So earlier this array was of dimension 2 by 3, and now I want to change the dimension to 3 by 2, let's say. So now once you do this, the array dimension will be changed to 3 by 2, which means 3 rows and 2 columns. You can also change it to, let's say, 6 by 1. So I'm going to just say 6 by 1, and this is going to give you an array of 6 by 1. But you need to make sure that all these reshaping dimension conforms to the original dimension. So for example, you just give a dimension which is not confirmed by the original array, let's say 7 here, and you will get this error which says cannot reshape array of size 6 into the shape 7 by 1. Now let me give you one more example. So this time I'm going to create a new variable d, and this time I'm going to use ones method. So this is ones method, and I want to create an array of, let's say, 1 by 9, and then press enter, which is going to give me an array of 1 by 9, and all the values here are ones. Now when I use a reshape method on this D array, so let's use this reshape method and let's give the dimension. Let's say I want to give here the dimension of 3 by -1, and then press enter. You will see this array will be reshaped to 3 by 3 array. So why this is happening? So because we have provided the second parameter as -1, which means that it will be determined based on the actual condition automatically. So this array was containing 9 elements, and this means that your matrix will be resized to 3 by 3 matrix. So now you can see, when you see the content inside D, you can see the original array never changes. You cannot change the size or shape of the original array. You can just reshape it and then assign it to a new variable. So when you do this, I'm going to just reshape it and then assign it to a new variable E, and then see the content of E. Now once again, let me create an array of all zeros of dimension 3 by 1, let's say, and there is a method called vstake and hstake. So vstake is used to stake multiple arrays in vertical direction, and one thing to notice here is the dimension. So the dimension of an array must be matched. So here you can see E, which is of the dimension 3 by 3, and we have a new array F which have the dimension 3 by 1. So let me just create one more variable. Let's say it's G variable, and then I can use np.vsplit, and I can provide as an argument both the arrays. So I have the array E and I have the array F, and it gives us error because this I need to give in the tuple. So the error says it takes one positional argument, but I have provided 2 because this I need to give inside a tuple or a list. So these argument I will provide as a tuple and then press enter, and now you will see this error. This error says all the input array dimension except for the concatenation access must match exactly. So because this is the 3 by 3 array and we want to add the new array vertically, which is not possible because in the 3 by 3 matrix you cannot add the matrix of 3 by 1. If this matrix is of 1 by 3, then this is possible. So let's create the array of 1 by 3. So this should be 1 by 3, not 3 by 1. So I'm going to reshape it once again, or let's just change the dimension. It should be 1 by 3 in order to use the vstake with the array of 3 by 3. So now once again we will see the content of h. So now we can once again use this vstake method, and this time I'm going to pass h here instead of f, which is of dimension 1 by 3, and then press enter, and this time I don't get any error. And once again when I see the content of G, it's going to give us the combination of the matrix E and H. So this method vstake can be used to stake multiple arrays in vertical direction. There is one more method which is hstake, which you can use to stake multiple arrays in horizontal direction, and there our f array will work. So now when I create one more variable I, and I will use the hstake method, and here I will provide as an argument the array E, which is of dimension 3 by 3, and the array F, which is of dimension 3 by 1, not 1 by 3, not like this, but it's of dimension 1 by 3, so it's like this, right? And then press enter, and I will see the content of I, and now you will see these two arrays are staked horizontally. Now if you give the array of wrong dimensions here, so for example I give H here instead of F, which is like this, and then press enter, it's going to once again give me an error which says all the input array dimension except for the concatenation access must match exactly. And at last I want to show you two more methods, and they are hsplit, which is called horizontal split, and vsplit, which is called vertical split. And I want to split this array in the horizontal format. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the method hsplit, and here I can first of all give the name of the array, which is G in my case, and then I can give the number of splits. So for example, I want to split this array in 3 different arrays, then I can provide this number 3 here and then press enter, and now you can see the result. So this result contains 3 different arrays, 1, 2 and 3. Now let's say I want to split this array I, which looks like this, in the vertical direction. So I want to just separate this, this and this in 3 different arrays. So I can use once again np.vsplit method, and first argument is the name of the array and second argument is the number of arrays you want. So when I press enter, it's going to give me 3 different arrays which are split in vertical direction. So that's it for this video. I hope you have learned something new this time, and I will see you in the next video.